Hello, and welcome to this episode of Rantz. It's Crisandro, of course, and you're not going to believe this. Blimey, I did a live version of this episode, and I just realised that I didn't actually realise at the time, but clicking and doing it on my phone, some reason I clicked a button and it kind of screenshotted everything that I was doing on YouTube at the time. So it kind of recorded a lot of copyrighted material, which obviously I couldn't use, so I had to get rid of that and had to do this one again. But at least this one will be a little bit of an improvement, really. This is titled "That Was the Season That Was," and it's pretty much a look back on our season as it stands in regards to what happened from the moment we started pre-season to now, before the last game of the season. Currently, as things stand, Spurs go into tomorrow's game. I'm here in Norwich, by the way, just to let you know that I'm staying in a rather nice hotel. A few too many cobblers for my liking, and managed to just kill a spider. But other than that, it's a nice little hotel. It's very, very nice, very, very swish. And yeah, it's very classy, almost as classy as the way Spurs has been this season. And it is kind of, well, I say this season up to a point. I mean, it didn't start off that well. I mean, let's get into it. Let's look into how things panned out. If you remember, last season ended on a bit of a damp squib. We had Jose Mourinho as the boss, and he was in charge up until the 6 days before the Carabao Cup final. He'd taken the side up to around about I think 6th in the league. But it seems that his brief there was to just make top 4, and Jose being Jose, he believed that it was important to actually win a trophy. So he did sacrifice quite a lot in the league to try and get us into the Carabao Cup final, which he did. That was the only trophy that we had left. I mean, we got out to Dinamo Zagreb, if I remember, but in a very embarrassing fashion in the Europa League. And we didn't do too well in the FA Cup either. So it was literally the Carabao Cup that was our saving grace. And that kind of, backfired, because he was in relief of his duty 6 days before the final, and Ryan Mason replaced him, and we ended up not only just losing the final, but also doing very badly in the league. That we in the end we finished our lowest position for a long time, finished in 7th spot. But that qualified us for the Europa Conference League, which I didn't mind too much, because the inaugural competition, so it would be the first time that anyone would have participated in it, and for me it would be a bit of a boon to win it. But Mason's tenure only lasted till the end of that season, and so then even before the end of that season we were looking for a new manager, but that stretched and that stretched and that stretched. We ended up getting close to I want to call him Ferrara, the Portuguese manager who managed at Shakhtar Donetsk in Ukraine. I think that everything was agreed, but when Paratici became more involved, joined and became more involved in the actual appointment of the manager, he didn't pull the plug on it when it looked like everything was signed, sealed, and delivered. We're going to have Ferrara. Is it Marcos Ferrara? I can't remember his full name now. I want to say Marcos Ferrara, or Ferreira, sorry. I'm sure it's Ferreira. And we went into that, and, well, basically we went into that, we cancelled that one, and then we were about to appoint Gennaro Gattuso, Italian manager, who, just no. He has some questionable beliefs, and I don't want him anywhere near the club. And that was a proud moment when all the fans got together and said, "No, hell no, he ain't coming to Spurs." He ain't setting foot at to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And then we went down to Nuno Espirito Santo, who for me would be a term of pride. I mean, first African manager, first black manager as well. African. I mean, I think he was born in born in somewhere in Southern Africa. I think it's I want to say no. What, is it Sao Tome? No, Central Africa that is. But Ferrara would have been a good choice because he was born in Mozambique before he went to Portugal, and the same with Nuno Espirito Santo, who I'm sure he was born in Sao Tome, and so Sao Tome, and then obviously as a former Portuguese colony, and he became a Portuguese international on the back of that. And that would have been a term of pride, but you could just tell there was something off with that appointment. His first, his first video, his welcome video, where he says, "Oh, we're going to make you proud." He just didn't look like he was into it. Spurs didn't look like they were into it either. Nobody looked like they were into it. Nobody wanted him to be there. He didn't want to be there. You could just feel the vibes. So, and a lot of the fan base as well. I mean, I did mention that moment of pride where the fan base kind of like got stuck together and ensured that Gattuso wouldn't become manager. But then there was the same kind of no to Nuno shit that was flying around, especially on Twitter, which kind of annoyed the hell out of me. But it is what it is. Some clubs do have them. But that whole thing just felt wrong. I mean, a lot of us did try and get behind him, but it just didn't. I mean, because it took so long to appoint the manager. It took so long to appoint Nuno Espirito Santo that it took a long time to actually get a player. I mean, by the time Nuno was in charge, or took the reins, we only bought one player. Now was Brian Hill, who joined us. I think it was late July. So we're already going into the knockings of the start of the season. The start of the season was the 15th of August. We signed our first player on the 26th of July, and that was you gotta say that is poor by anyone's standards. And then and that was our last player at that point. I mean, by that point, we'd already got rid of Juan Foyt. He'd gone to Villarreal in mid-June. Eric Lamela went to Sevilla as part of the part exchange with Brian Hill. So we were kind of short at that point. And then the next day, Toby Alderweireld left. He went to Al Duhail in Qatar, £13 million deal. And you got to say that we were hemorrhaging players at this point. And remember, the season is starting on the 15th of August. This is the 27th of July we're talking about. We only brought in one player at this point. And then we just kept hemorrhaging players. Joe Hart then left. Remember that infamous quote that Joe Hart later gave, say that he had a one-to-one with Nuno, and he comes out and says, "I don't want you at the club. You're not good enough for this club. You got to leave and find another club." It was brutal, absolutely brutal. And so he left. He went to Celtic, where he's won a trophy, won the Premier League there in Scotland. And that was the 3rd of August. Bearing in mind, the season starts on the 15th of August, so we let 4 players out, and only one came in. We had some pre-season friendlies as well at that point, and one of them was a trip to Leyton Orient. We drew that one 1-1, if I remember rightly. I want to say that the Celso scored in that game, but probably not. I can't remember. Then a few days later, we had Colchester away, where we won 3-0. A week after that, Milton Keynes Dons, we won 3-1. So we were kind of we weren't playing the biggest side, but we were undefeated in that aspect. And then we were up against the 2 London sides in the Mine series, where we in the start of August, where we kind of showed some form. In the first game we played Chelsea, we drew 2-2. Although that paints over a lot of cracks, really, because we were 2-0 down going into the last 10 minutes. Chelsea had made about 8 changes. We kept this up. I only made about 2 changes in that game, and we managed to come back and draw 2-2 at Stamford Bridge. Then a few days later, we played Arsenal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and we won 1-0, which was good. At least we ended up unbeaten. I think we probably finished second in the tournament overall. if I remember rightly. So that was something. But still, nothing coming in. We were just relying on a lot of kids in those games. Bearing in mind, the season starts on the 15th of August. So we kind of muddled along. Nothing really coming in. A lot of rumours about players coming and going. Nothing really materialising. And then the season starts, 15th of August, and at this point, we'd only brought in one player, Brian Hill, and he would only be a bit part, really. Only be a bit part. I don't think he started that first game against Manchester City. Well, we played very well. That was the opening game, and we played so well. We did very well. We just kind of sat back and caught them on the break. Heung-min Son scoring the goal in that game, I remember rightly. He did that little curl out, he was slipping. Edison just couldn't catch it. 1-0. And then that's where it all kind of, although we're getting the results, that's where it all kind of fell apart. The next game was away to Wolves. I remember we had seen the video. Wolves battered us. They really did. Dele Alli scored the winning goal for the penalty spot early in the first half. But how we kept a clean sheet in that game, I have no idea, because we weren't defending particularly well either. There was a lot of work by Hugo Lloris in that game. And then, well, that was 2 wins out of 2, so we can't really complain. At least we're putting points on the board, which is what anyone says, we play badly and win. That's kind of how we were taking it. Although it might just kind of look like a lot of cracks are being papered over. I mean, that's how it kind of felt. By the time the third game came along, which is the third game was against Watford, and that was on the 29th of August. Before that came along, we then actually had a few more outgoings. Incomings, I should say. Papa Mate Sarr was then signed from Metz as a DM, and then immediately loaned back to Metz, so he didn't even set foot in England. And that was the second player. That was our second player. At this point, we already lost a few other players, and then Musa Sissoko was then sold to Watford on that same day. So we lost another player, and nothing was coming in. Bearing in mind now, we're into the season. We're about to play the third game of the campaign against Watford, where Musa Sissoko was lining up against us. And he actually played quite well in that game, from what I remember. But we won 1-0, and again, it wasn't the most convincing of performances. So we started the season off with 3 straight wins, 3 goals, none conceded. But then that all just went to crap, literally straight away after that. Our next game was against Crystal Palace after the international break. And to say that we were just taken for a complete and utter ride, that just kind of muddies everything. By that point, we then signed... at that point, we then kind of loaned a couple of players... brought a couple of players and loaned a couple of players. I do apologise. And this is where we thought that we were starting to do some business, but by this point in time, it was really kind of late. Emerson Royale came in on the 31st. That was it. That was it. That was literally it. Came in from Barcelona for 25 million. And to say that was underwhelming, that'll be an understatement. So we didn't really do too much of a business in that window, and we had players really performing very poorly. Lo Celso being one, and Ndombele being another, Tanguy Ndombele, and it showed when Emerson was thrown in at the deep end against Crystal Palace and didn't really perform too well. We lost that game 3-0. You might have seen the video for that one as well when they're at Selhurst Park, and then. With the game against Chelsea, which will forever haunt me, we were brilliant in the first half without actually having a shot on goal, and we had a lot of the ball. We pressed them quite a bit, and we really restricted them. But then they brought on Antonio Conte in the second half, and that completely changed everything. They then went off and then completely hammered us in the second half, winning 3-0. That completely tore us a new one. That was our second defeat, our second heaviest defeat. The goal difference that we built up in those first 3 games wiped out immediately, and it was from +3 to -3 within an additional 2 matches. And then a week after that, Arsenal at the Emirates which was also going to be a foregone conclusion. We lost 3-1. Surprised we even scored one, but it was a good goal. I can't remember who scored that one, but it was late on after Arsenal built a 3-0 lead. And so by that point now, we just slumped down into mid-table. That good start completely destroyed. Then went on another run, winning two games in a row. Aston Villa, which wasn't the most convincing performance again, won 2-1. Newcastle away, when Newcastle got their got the takeover from the Qatari royal family. I'm sorry, I mean Qatari Sports Limited, whatever it's called. I do apologise. Essentially, being bankrolled by a repressive regime. That's why I see it, and spending the blood money. But that's by the by. They were having a massive party up in Tyneside, and then we went there and fell a goal behind after 3 minutes. Yeah, it was only typical Spurs. And then after that, we then rallied. I remember Tongi and Ndombe scoring a fantastic goal, a curler from the edge of the area. It was just inside the area, but we won 3-2. And so that was 2 wins on the bounce. Then we followed that up with another 2 defeats. West Ham away. It was a mixed game. They didn't really play that well, but they felt the need to sing Tottenham get battered everywhere they go because they thought they would join in, even though they only won the game through the Harry Kane own goal. But that's just the level of their club, really. But it is what it is. Then we played Spurs at home. Then we played Manchester United at home, which was then billed as the battle to decide the fate of the managers. That's kind of how it was. It was Nuno Espirito Santo's job on the line, and Antonio Conte, and then Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job on the line with the carrots dangling that Antonio Conte was now available to take charge of a club. He done with his break. I'll get to that in a minute because a lot of people are talking crap when they say that we didn't offer Conte any real assurances. That's why he said no in August. He didn't. But I'll get onto that in a minute. But that game there, you could say we won. I guess you could say that. We got hammered 3-0 in that game. Ronaldo scoring, and then it was the worst Manchester United team ever, and they absolutely destroyed us. And from all accounts, Paratici had enough after the second goal had gone in, and then stormed down the tunnel. Was it the third goal? I can't remember, but he had seen enough, had stormed down the tunnel. The next day, Nuno lost his job and got a £15 million payoff at the end of it. But it's not bad work considering that he didn't want to be there. Spurs didn't want him to be there, and most of the team didn't want him to be there by all accounts. So you have to say that it is what it is. But what I'll get to is because then Antonio Conte was given the manager's job, and many people are saying that he didn't take the reins before because we didn't give him assurances of anything back in July, which is a load of rubbish. It is a load of rubbish. Lots of periodicals in Italy were saying that he needed a rest after guiding Inter to their Scudetto win, and he was mentally drained. 18 months at Inter, and they managed to build a title-winning side. And he needed a bit of a break. We approached him, and he said he just needed a break from football, I think a good few months out. And that is exactly what he got. By this, and then it was news coming that he was looking to take on another job in January. And that time he was sounding out, and his agent was sounding out teams. We then jumped in, especially after that 3-0 defeat at home to Manchester United. We then acted quickly, got rid of Nuno. I think we were already talking to Conte at this point anyway, just preliminary talk, but then we got rid of Nuno, and then a couple of days later we appointed Antonio Conte as our manager. And you have to say that that's literally reading the periodicals and reading the newspapers in Italy. Well, obviously you translate, I don't speak Italian that well, but he needed a break, and he got his break. He finished his break, and now he's at Spurs. That's literally it. There was no. Levy tried to lowball him. That's why he said no. That's a load of. It's just a lot more Levy out bollocks, which I can't be bothered to get into, and so that's literally how it all went down. And then when Conte came in, that's when we started the motor. That was in November. and then went on a 9-game unbeaten run, starting with a 0-0 draw against Everton, which was a bit of a poor game. Neither side looked interested in trying to score, but that's just how it was, really. I mean, both teams were going through a very bad patch and were very low in confidence. But then we started to see that confidence start to seep through a little bit more as the players were starting to learn a bit more, and they had a bit more time to learn under Conte. Well, I'll say that, but then it was the international break after the Everton game. And then a couple of weeks later, we then played Leeds 1-2-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Good performance. And then we played Brentford at home 1-2-0. Good performance again. Then we played Norwich City at home 3-0. Another good performance. This is early December. Then nice little break there before we played Liverpool at home. We had all these games at home. We drew 2-2, but we should have won. We played so well. Son missed a glorious one-on-one opportunity. And then another one-on-one opportunity as well that was missed. We should have won that, and we deserved to win that. I didn't go to the game, as I said at the time. I made a pact with a mate of mine that after the Manchester United game, I just didn't want to see Liverpool pack us, and I thought that they might. But then that was before Conte came. So I'd already made plans for that weekend. But then I was back in London anyway for the game against Crystal Palace, where we packed them up. We won 3-0, revenge for the earlier game at Selhurst Park. And then that was on Boxing Day. A couple of days later, we played Southampton in a game where we were fortunate to get away with a point. I think we got equalised for a penalty there, if I remember rightly. It was the big burly defender, Salisu. I think that's fouled one of our players. I think it was Ben. I wouldn't say Ben Davies, but probably not. But they took a lead through a great strike from Ward Prowse. It was literally right in front of me. I remember I was at the St Mary's Stadium for that game. They had Salisu was sent off, but they still played the better football. And we were lucky to get away with a point in that one. New Year's Day, the big one at New Year's Day, Watford away. You might have seen that video as well. We won 1-0. And so we played Watford twice. I think we scored 2 goals against them. I don't know if that says more about us than them or what. But yeah, it was peak, man. It was just kind of, I don't remember too much happening. It was just kind of a mixed performance. We weren't overly dominant, and then at the same time we didn't look like conceding. So, I guess you could say job done. And then I think it was FA Cup break at that point, and then we played Leicester at the King Power Stadium. Didn't get to that game, unfortunately, but that was a midweek game. I think that game was cancelled from earlier on. But I think it was about a minute, or it was literally it was about 2 minutes to go, wasn't it? We were 2-1 down and losing, and then up comes super subs Stevie Bergfine to score 2 iconic goals to get us the victory there. Completely shell-shocked the Foxes, really did. It was a brilliant. I mean, I shouted the house down. I couldn't lie. Completely and utterly went mad at that game. Really did. It was good. But then we were brought back down to earth with 3 straight defeats after that. I mean, January was a time where we, opened up the coffers, as it were, and we brought in 2 players right at the very, very end. Well, I say opened up the coffers. It was right at the very, very end that we got players. I mean, but by that point, we then lost to Chelsea for the second time. Well, 4th time if you include the Carabao Cup matches, but in the league for the second time. And then we went in the market with a week to go. Well, a couple of days to go, and we bought. No, was it on deadline day? Can't remember. 31st of January. It must have been deadline day. Bought in 2 players from Juventus. You might know them: Rodrigo Bentancur, who I call Rodri, of course, and also Dejan Kulusevski, our Swedish maestro, who his nickname is Deki, but I think we call him Kulu at the stadium, don't we? But Deki, Kulu, either way, it's still Dejan. Dejan Kulusevski, easy for me to say. And you have to say that they kind of they did quite well. They kind of hit the ground running almost, but it didn't stop us from losing 2 games on the trot. Where we were beaten at home both times to Southampton and then Wolves, so that was 3 straight defeats there to go with our 9-game unbeaten run. a bit of a downer, really. We then beat Manchester City in between. After that one, another glorious game, another game we deserved to win. Played so well, but we thought we'd blown it with Mahrez penalty with 10 minutes to go. But then Kane scoring with a minute to go to make it 3-2 and to do the double over Manchester City. It was good. It was good. I can't lie. It was good. You know, the way City fans are going on about THFC's Tottenham in the league, rich coming from them. Rich coming from them. Rich in every sense of the word. So screw them, as far as I'm concerned. They may win the title this, they'll never get congratulations from me. Fuck them. And then after that, we lost to Burnley. So there was a period there where I couldn't get to the game because it was up in the northwest and I couldn't get the time off. And the Burnley game was rescheduled after Snow cancelled the original meeting earlier in the season. So I couldn't get to that to the game. It was a down match, a damn squib. Anyway, we lost 1-0, and so that gave us a run of 4 defeats in 5 games. But then we bounced back with 2 wins. Leeds away, that was a good performance, a brilliant performance. Brilliant, it really was. We just took them apart. Won 4-0, then we beat Everton 5-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the start of March. And then the next game, obviously it was a defeat, but I wouldn't class it as anything bad because we played Manchester United at Old Trafford in a game where we were really methodical and really clinical, but we just couldn't live with Ronaldo that day. They were really carried by Ronaldo in that game. They really were. And they were just poor, but we just couldn't stop Ronaldo. They literally just gave the ball to Ronaldo each time he got himself a hat-trick. But I think both our goals came from set pieces, didn't they? So we couldn't really. I mean, it was at the point there where we were just trying to walk the ball into the net each time, which I guess is admirable and looks good. But if it's not working, there's try and so a couple of long range shots. We will get to do that later on in matches, and but it didn't help us to. On that occasion, we lost 3-2, and we were very unfortunate. Then went on a 4-match winning run, where we started off with a win at Brighton and Hove Albion. I didn't get to that game. I think I was that depressed after the Manchester United game, and something happened in between, I'm sure. But no, just after the Manchester United game, I was that depressed I couldn't. I didn't go to the game. I had the ticket, but I didn't go to the game. And we won 2-0. I think Romero scoring his first goal for Spurs. Was it first goal? But it's prominent in my mind that he scored in that game. Then we played West Ham. West Ham getting battered at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium 3-1. They'll righted a lot of wrongs in that one, I think. That'll be the second time we beat them this season, because we beat them in the Carabao Cup as well. And then we played Newcastle at home, and that was absolute annihilation. I respect Newcastle fans because they know football and they know what's up, and never had any trouble with Newcastle fans. They are good people. I had plenty of trouble with Sunderland fans, but I won't get into that. They're just... But I see that they are winning their playoffs, so they might even get promoted to the Championship, I think. They might get promoted to the Championship, so no time for Sunderland fans. But got plenty of time for Newcastle fans, and they played okay in the game. But we were just better. We won 5-1, we were brilliant. Then Aston Villa. How we won that one 4-0, I have no idea. Because Aston Villa played so well. That was at Villa Park, and they played so well. They was creating chances after chances after chances. We just about lived with them, but we were clinical with our chances, where they went with theirs. We won 4-0. And then came the weird game against Brighton, where it looked like we were just knackered. I'm not quite sure why. Not quite sure. We had a whole week to prepare for that game. It was a weird showing. We lost 1-0, and it was just poor performance, just slow, lethargic. We just had no idea. We got as far as the halfway line and then go backwards and then start again. It was odd. We just looked like we suddenly forgot how to play football. Brighton then scored in the very last second of the game, which was tough to take, but it is what it is. They came into that game on the back of a win against Arsenal at the Emirates, and then they beat West Ham, I think, in their following game. So kudos to them. Well done to them. So that was that, and then we drew with Brentford in a shiny new stadium, lovely stadium. I did do a video for that, but I wasn't able to edit it as quickly as I could, so that's been left on the back burner. I might do some clips from it, when we do like a end of season type thing. So sorry, no, just a bit of cotton just flew into the room there, just kind of caught my eye. So I included a few shots of that, but yeah, I do like a little compilation for the channel, and yeah, show some memories of it all. So that was kind of cool. That was cool, but we didn't get the results. Christian Eriksen did play well that game, but we didn't get the result. He even came to say. To wave to our fans, which I don't know if that would have gone down well with the Brentford fans, but it is what it is. Obviously at the time when he did leave, I was like happy he was gone, but after what happened in the European Championships, you don't wish that on anybody, really. Nobody, you don't wish that on your worst enemy. So there's no hard feelings from him, but personally, I'm just thinking, obviously left under such a cloud. Personally, I can't welcome him back. I know there's a lot of Spurs fans that will welcome him back just like that. Just literally, they welcomed Gareth Bale back, didn't they? After he shouted the club from a great height, trying to force his move to Real Madrid, which he just succeeded in doing, but it's still welcome him back. I remember that Audi Cup game in Munich where he was given a round of applause by Spurs fans that were there, and I'm thinking, But anyway, it is what it is. I'm the way I am, they are the way they are. It is what it is. But yeah, that was 0-0. And then Mayday. Leicester definitely needed a Mayday that day because they came to our ends and then they got smacked up. They got slapped 3-1. That was a good performance. They really should not even had the one. We should have kept a clean sheet, but Iheanacho managed to grab a last-minute goal for them. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I know everyone's like, oh, good game, we won. But for me, I'm a perfectionist. We play so well. We kept it out for 90 minutes or 89 minutes. I am upset that we conceded in the 90th minute. I really am. That's just how I am. It's just how I'm built. And then the game that will kind of define us under Conte, and that shows that we are starting to understand the philosophy of Antonio Conte. Liverpool at Anfield. You would have seen the video, no doubt, where we were imperious. We were brilliant. They had all the ball, and barring a shot from Luis Diaz and I'm sure they must have had a second. Did they hit the post? Yeah, they hit the post, didn't they? So they hit the crossbar through Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk, I think that's how you pronounce it. Van Dijk. And also hit, and then we hit the post through. I want to say Ben Davies. I don't know if it was Ben Davies. I always think Ben Davies every time I think of posts. I'm not quite sure why. But then we scored. We took the lead. Son scoring. Set up by Kulusevski. It was a great move. Kane initially onto Kulusevski and then onto Son. 1-0, and we should have scored a second and a third. We really should have done. We should have done because we dominated that. In terms of chances, we dominated it. We had the clearer chances. We had the better chances, and then they scored. If that deflection from Bentancur did not occur, that ball would have gone straight to Lloris. I was literally in line with it. Luis Diaz there scoring a lucky goal. That was 1-1, and Liverpool can count themselves lucky. I know that Klopp in the end started complaining that he wouldn't have played football like that the way Spurs did. I know he's since kind of retracted and backpedaled on that a little bit, but at the same time, give congratulations where it's due. I admire a manager who can who's so focused on winning that he doesn't give the opposition any kind of plaudits. I do the same as well. But it was just an ultimate diss really in the end, and I just can't get with that really. But he backpedaled in the end, so I do kind of give him some congratulations for that, and have some respect for that. But in the end, we did what we had to do, and we did it so well that we should have won. And the only reason that he's probably upset is because he knows they should have lost. That's literally it. It was 1-1 in the end at Anfield. And in the last 3 games, Arsenal, at home. We won 3-0, and although everyone's happy and gassed up about that, I mean, I'm not. I'm really not. I mean, we had enough chances to put them away. We had enough chances to score 4, 5, and then we just took our foot off the pedal in the second half. We just kind of toyed with them, and we didn't really go all out to try and get that 4th or 5th goal. If we did, we would have been on for 6. That's how that's how much we dominated the match. And you can cry about the penalty. If you shove someone in the back, the thing is, I mean, if you shove someone in the back in the penalty anywhere else in the field like that, that's given as a free kick. So why I hear? I mean, there's only one. As I said at the time, there's literally only one Arsenal channel that I watched. That because I do this weird thing where I kind of watch the fan channels of the teams that we kind of play, see their take on it. Only 2 channels called it as it was. Said it was a blatant penalty. Said that it wasn't Rob Holding. It was wasn't Ben White. One of their defenders. Ben White was on the bench. When they said that it was a blatant shove, blatant push in the back penalty, everyone else was making out that it was fixed, or making out that it was a soft penalty. But you see them outside the penalty area, they're usually given. So it was an obvious penalty. I don't think they had any complaints about Rob Holding's red card. He fouled Son within 4 times within the first 30 minutes. So it was obvious it was going to go, and 5 times overall in the end. Just picked up 2 yellow cards, and then we should have won by more. That's what I'm saying. And then Burnley. A lot of people were saying that we were fortunate to take. Well, certain fans were saying that we were fortunate to take a point from Burnley. No, we weren't. Burnley only had 2 decent opportunities from what I can remember. One of them was Maxwell Cornet. Was it Maxwell? That's his first name. Maxwell Cornet with a through ball from Barnes, and he was 1-on-1 with Lloris, who saved excellently. It was a good save. It was good. It wasn't the best of strikes, but Lloris did what he had to do. And then in the second half, Ashley Barnes. This is after he gave away the penalty with an outstretched arm. People are saying that's not. If your arm's out like that. If your arm is out like that, all the way down, it doesn't matter how quick the ball from the kick to hitting the arm is. His arm was out for a good 3 or 4 seconds, like he was. I mean, their manager was saying that he was just trying to steady himself, balance, whatever. To me, he was making himself bigger. That's how I saw it. He was making himself bigger. His arm was out for a long time. You even see on the video that I was adamant it was a penalty. I mean, usually I would shout and go, nah. After I think about it again for another half a second in my head. But I was adamant that was a penalty when I saw it. And I'll welcome VAR checking it. Welcome them checking it. So Kane scored that one. And we had enough chances to win the game. So for certain men to say that we were fortunate to come away with that with the win, I just don't understand it. That's what I mean when it comes to rivalry. Rivalry is one thing, but you just call it as it happens. Not just as you wish it. So that just takes us up to date now, and this is we just got one game, and that's one here in Norwich. I'll show you the scenes, but it's just literally in the back of my house. Got the river just beyond that as well. So it's a nice little setting that I'm at here in Norwich, and it is a lovely little city. So that's where we are. I mean, we're playing Norwich in the last game of the season. Currently in 5th in the table after a very disastrous middle point where Nuno Espirito Sancho was fired. I think we were 9th, just a couple of points off. We're 9th at the table, and it just didn't look like we were devoid of any kind of confidence or actually any kind of forward motion. Really, we just didn't look like we knew what we were going to do when we took to the field. And I'm confident. I mean, we can't finish any lower than 5th, so that's a good thing. And I'm confident we'll beat Norwich anyway. So we'll stay where we are in 4th. And well, yes, you have to say that bearing in mind where we were when Conte took over, is the season improved, and we have had an okay season. In my books, we had an okay season. I guess if I was to grade the season now, I mean, how would you grade it? I mean, if I was to grade the season now, I'd say, bearing in mind where we won nothing, we got bombed out of the Europa Conference League. Well, we didn't even play our final game. I mean, our team was struck with COVID, and UEFA decided to punish us by awarding the points to Rennes, when Rennes were being as obstinate as possible in the rearranging of the game. I know we would just unilaterally declare the game not cancelled. We didn't actually contact UEFA. Still, we had a lot of COVID issues. So, but that's going to be my main bugbear right there. That we could have done something in the Europa Conference League. We could have got quite far in it, I believe. Actually, I don't know why I believe that, because we weren't doing anything in the group anyway. I mean, I'm thinking back to the trip to Mura. Again, it's another video I couldn't quite get together. But I do have some clips which I can put up. I mean, but it was a good trip to Slovenia, but we lost. Crisandro was sent off as well in that game. He got back from injury and then he was sent off. So we were poor. I mean, Mura were probably the lowest ranked team in the whole of European football this season, and we lost to them. So we didn't deserve to go through anyway, I don't think. But we didn't get a chance to finish off against Rennes, where a win would have seen us go above Vitesse and through to the knockouts. But we got into the repechage, as I call it, where we the playoff round against the team that finished second in the Europa League. So it is what it is. League Cup, we got as far as the semi-finals. We weren't that convincing in it either. I mean, for the opening round, we played Wolves 2-0 up, if I remember rightly, and then somehow got pegged 2-2. We got through on penalties. The next round, we then beat Burnley at Turf Moor 1-0. Wasn't a convincing performance either. And then we played West Ham in the quarter-finals, 1-2-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which was good. It was entertaining. And then we played Chelsea. It wasn't a battering like the league performances, but we lost 2-0. We lost 2-0 at the Bridge, and then we lost 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It just didn't feel right. I mean, it was a semi-final, and it just didn't feel right. We didn't play it at all well, really, and it is what it is. Got bombed out of that. The FA Cup was just poor. I think we began with the third round tie against Morecambe, where we were 1-0 down until the last 15 20 minutes of the game. We turned it around, win 3-1. Lascelles had come on scoring, I remember. And then the following round we played Brighton, didn't we? We won 3-1. That was a better performance, but Brighton were very good on the day. And then after that, it was Middlesbrough away, and we were poor. Lost 1-0. Can't lie, that was a disappointment. So yeah, in the cups we didn't do at all well, and in the league we started off the campaign, as I said, with 3 straight victories, 3 straight clean sheets. But we didn't. We only looked good in one of the games, and that was the first game against Manchester City, against Wolves, and then against Watford. We looked poor, but we got the job done. Then we went on a bad run. So I'll say that, from where Conte took over from Nuno, when we were 9th, to get as high as we are right now, where we can finish as high as 4th or as low as 5th. I'll have to, and bearing in mind the cups, I'll have to say, I'll give him a C. I'll give him the C grade. Bearing in mind that we were back in Europe, where we were maintaining European football, and we're not sure which competition that's going to be in. If we beat Norwich tomorrow, then that's going to be the Champions League. If we lose and Arsenal beat Everton, then that's going to be the Europa League. So that's where we are right now. So we got European football at some point. got the European football next season, so that'll be fun. We're going to have a new program start up as well. It's going to be part of the matchday supplement. It's going to be separated as well, though. It's called Tottenham in Europe. It's going to have a new snazzy little GIF graphic that goes with it as well. So yeah, look out for that next season. In the Europa League or the Champions League, we go straight to the group stages anyway, so it won't be tested out in any playoff round. We shall see. We'll also do a live feed of the draw as well, so look out for that. We'll advertise it as soon as it becomes available. But yeah, so as I'm getting back to my grading, I'll give him a C for that, because of where we are. Well, not him, just the club. I'll give Antonio Conte a B plus really. Nuno, I mean, it has to be a D minus, no, I'd say a D, because obviously he didn't want to be there. He didn't feel like he was wanted there. The club didn't want him there. They just wanted to appoint somebody there. So it was just a mess. And then the slow. And the slowness of sorting out the summer window, getting us to the point where we had to bring in a couple more players in January just to beef things up. You had to blame a lot of people. I mean, Paratici for one, for trying to appoint someone who would not have fit in or not wanted at all in the club, and then appointing someone who nobody wanted, including the man himself that he appointed who didn't want to be there. And in the event, he ended up getting it right in November. So it is yet to be seen, really. We shall see. But so yeah, it'll be a C. It'll be a C grade as far as I'm concerned. What do you think? Let me know what you think. We will be doing our usual awards, end of season awards, for the Tottenham supplement, where we shall determine who will be our player of the season. The usual criteria. We might even do something a little different, like we'll do the awards for defender of the season, goalkeeper of the season, that sort of thing, just break it up a little bit. So that should be cool. So look out for that one as well. I'll be on the Tottenham Supplement Facebook page, so sign up to that as well. So it all boils down to this final game, really, in the end, to see which competition we will be taking part in. But what I will say is that I am looking forward to next season already. I am looking forward to that. I can, with quite a bit of excitement. I mean, if I look at the league table currently, I mean, what points are we on? We're on 68 points, aren't we? Manchester City are currently on 90. So if I was to say the weird thing that if Manchester City and Liverpool lose their games, so that means that Manchester City finish on 90. We win our game, so that means we got to 71 points. That means we finished 19 points off the top of the table. Do I think that can be bridged? Well, if you look at the, especially the home games, if I look at the home games that we lost, and extrapolate from that, the home games against, well, had quite a few. We lost 5 home games this season. First one, Chelsea. I'd say on another day we probably could have got a draw out of that one, because we played so well in the first half in that game, played so damn well, and we played so well in the first half. I don't think we had a shot on goal at all, but in that first half, but we played so damn well. It was only when Chelsea made that change of bringing on Conte in the second half that everything just kind of went strange. We got absolutely obliterated. So I'll say that on another day we could have drawn that game. So that's 1 point we could gain. The next home defeat that we had, Manchester United. See, it's hard to say, because both teams were so poor that day. It's just Manchester United took their chances. Could we have got a draw out of that one? I'll say we probably could have done. I say we probably could have. Yeah, so I'll say we'll get 2 points there. So that's 2 points that we could have got out of those 2 defeats. The next one, Southampton. Yes, we lost 3-2. We were 2-1 up with 20 minutes to go. Southampton played well, but we could have held out, and we could have had another goal as well. We could have cleaned it off. So I'm definitely saying we should have had 5 points in that one, 3 points in that one. So that takes us up to 5 points. Wolves at home, we lost 2-0. Wolves came to defend. We just kind of danced around and did nothing. We didn't. We tried to walk the ball into the net, and we didn't have. I mean, now we're shooting from distance again. So if we did that next season, based on this, based on the kind of performance that Wolves put out, I'd say yes, we would take 3 points out of that one. So that's 8 points now we got. Next home game, Brighton at home. We were just poor, weren't we? Brighton were a lot better, so I'd say probably not. That might have happened anyway. We were just poor, and Brighton were just better. So let's just say that Brighton would have won that one. Should I say that we could have drawn? No, I'll say Brighton would have won that one. So we could have got 8. So let's say that on a different day we would have got 8 points out of those defeats. Would that have done anything? Now 68 points. So if we beat Norwich, that's 71. 8 points, 79. So in theory, we could have just finished. Well, we still have finished a long way out. Finished at 10 points off Liverpool, who were in second. Yeah. I said, and another day we could have beaten Liverpool as well in both those games. So who's to say? Who knows? But can we bridge the gap? Maybe slowly. But it's all about what we do in individual games as opposed to project to what we could do over a period of 38 games in the season. So that will be something to look out for. I think Conte, if given, I'm not going to say if given the backing because it's obviously going to be getting the backing. It's obvious that he and Paratici are going to work closely together in getting those players, and it's obvious that he'll get the players in that he wants to shoot and move players on that he doesn't, because we're already starting to do that already. Tonga and Ndombele, I know he's going to be coming back, which will shift out on loan. Lo Celso says he'll shift out on loan. Brian Hill shipped out on loan as well, but he's with a view of coming back because Conte actually does like him. So there are signs there that we are doing Conte's bidding quite well. So yeah, it will get back. So I'm not even going to question that. I'm not even going to allude to that anymore. So once we get the players in, and we get the players in that can follow Conte, that will have worked with Conte, or that know Conte, or can follow his instructions to the T and to the letter, I'm actually quietly confident about what we could achieve next season. I mean, I just want to see a trophy. If that happens to be the league, that'll be bloody brilliant. But if it's one of the cups where we go very close in the league, fantastic. I'm really up for next season, so looking forward to it. Well, yeah, that concludes everything. That's my take on it all. My looking back on the season and how well we did and how we should have done better in many areas, and how we should now try and redress everything that's happened, especially the early parts of the season. If we get in everything early, if we do the business early, that's literally the thing that we have to look out for. If we back... Stop saying that word, because obviously it's only... If we get the players in early... as soon as the window finishes, I mean, like Manchester City did with Haaland, before agreeing personal terms. I don't know how that could be legal, because I'm sure that's against the rules. But anyway, who needs rules these days? But if we get players in them early, I know we're looking at Sam Johnson, but that guess that's fallen through. So now it's Fraser Forster from Southampton as a backup to Lloris. But get the players in early, do the business nice and early. Get the players in for Conte to work his magic on during the pre-season, but especially before they all go out to South Korea. We've got 2 friendlies out there in South Korea. We haven't actually named the teams yet, all the dates, but we've got friendlies out there. It's not the Peace Cup or anything like that. It's just I'm not quite sure what it is. But then we have a friendly against Rangers at Ibrox in July, which I'll be going to. Hopefully I get to see a lot of you there as well. So yeah, I'm already looking forward to next season. Already looking forward to it. It's going to be, if things go according to plan and how I expect them to go, it is going to be a banger. An absolute banger, and I'm looking forward to every aspect of it. I mean, I don't expect Manchester United to be as bad as they have been with Ten Hag and as a new manager, are starting to challenge a lot closely with us than they have done. So Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and us, and Man United, probably even Newcastle, maybe depends on what they've done. I mean, they're already signed to motor with their blood money, so that's already working out well for them. They could bring in a few decent players as well over the summer, so maybe it could be a 6-horse race for the title. Who knows? But it's going to be one hell of a battle. I'm looking forward to it already. So yeah, what do you think? Let us know in the comments below, and then I shall see some of you tomorrow. Norwich City, the final game of the season. Looking forward to that one. It's going to be a cracker. Okay, come on, you Spurs. You all take care, and thank you for watching. And thank you for watching our programs here on the Tottenham Supplements YouTube channel, and for your comments in the Facebook page as well. It's been fantastic engaging with fellow fans on the plights and the heights and the delights of Spurs, and hope for more of the same next season. I mean, the newer subscribers who've come on, thank you very much for subscribing. Spread the word. It means a lot to us, and thank you again for subscribing to our channel for all our football films and opinions. And see most of you at Norwich. Come on, you Spurs. You all take care.